Hi, I'm Victoria Vitarelli. I oversee sales and marketing here at Millennium Systems International. Thank you so much for joining us. Today, we're going to be talking about our partners and integrations that live within our Meevo Exchange marketplace. Having said that, I'd like to welcome Patrick Blickman to our Meevo Exchange Spotlight. This is a series from Millennium, and to our Meevo customers, I want to thank everybody for watching this. We are creating a series to highlight some of our partners that we have in the Meevo Exchange, where we have all of our integrated partners, our product partners, and lots of ways to make Meevo perform even more for your business. So as I mentioned, this is Patrick from Reach. Some of you may have received a phone call from his team. He is the CEO of Reach. You've been a partner with Millennium for how many years now?
Gosh, going back with some of our products, almost 7 years, Vicky. It's been a while.
Right. A long time, which is really wonderful. And I'm excited to talk about Reach. You've had some new developments. It is one of the reasons why I wanted to focus on you guys first, actually, in this inaugural edition of the series, is because we have a Facebook community that has been growing in leaps and bounds with our customers, our Meevo 2 customers. And it is honestly one of the most frequently asked questions as it relates to integrated partners. Like, who is Reach? What do they do? What are they about?
Sure.
And we're really good at answering them, and our community also helps to answer. We have a lot of customers already using the platform and this really great integration. But I thought would be helpful to hear directly from you guys in real time, answer some of those questions firsthand
Sure.
before the sales pitch, before the phone calls. So I'd love to dive into it if you're ready.
Let's go. Yeah, we'd love to.
All right, great. So let's talk first about what exactly is Reach and what problem or pain point is it solving for a salon or a spa?
Great question. Yeah, we founded Octopi to make sure we're solving problems using AI and machine learning to automate a lot of the manual tasks that salons and spas are doing anyway. So where Meevo does an unbelievable job managing the entire business, we come in and we say, okay, for about 7 days and in, your staff is working extra hard to text and email and do some great things. Reach understands your client's cadence and comes in, automates that process using machine learning and AI, like I mentioned, and it fills the book automatically. So we're really just looking to help that segment, make sure you don't lose revenue by not letting those appointments go unfilled.
Got it. So a little bit of insider baseball there. So let me just demystify some of that for our audience. So they fill the book. They will take your customer list, try and fill those appointments from 7 days in, and get people in the salon or the spa for those last minute appointments, which is super valuable now and always. So I love that. Another question that comes up is, well, how does it work? Like, what does it cost? Right? Everybody's very cost sensitive, as we all should be when exploring, business tools. So talk a little bit about what the four times the ROI guarantee is. Some people are like, it doesn't cost anything until you book appointments. So let's clarify that for everybody so they understand how that works.
Another great question. So yeah, we've worked in the space a long time and we understand, especially these days, every dollar counts. We want to make sure we're adding revenue and we're doing our job monthly. So there's never a commitment period. There's never contracts. There's never setup fees with Reach. And again, if we don't book appointments, like you mentioned, Vicky, you're not paying. So what does that mean? Based on your salon size or spa size, there's 3 tiers of subscription: $149, $249, and $349. That's monthly. And what we make sure of is if we're not driving 4 times each one of those in bookings per month, every month, we don't charge you. So cancels don't count. People don't come for their appointment. We don't count it. We want to make sure we're adding value. So if we add value and we do it at a multiple, we ask you to pay your subscription. We have some locations at $16,000, $20,000 a month in new bookings, which we'll talk about today. They still pay the same subscription fee.
Got it. So is there a sweet spot in terms of the size of business that this really works well for? I'm sure you're going to say any size can use it, right? But given your experience working with some of our, businesses already, many of them, do you see any, it best fits this or that? Talk a little bit about that.
We're very lucky. So as you guys are our launch partner, we typically tell people, if you're using Meevo 2, you're going to be a great customer because you're thinking tech forward. You're thinking about managing your business with software. So for us, that's the number one indicator. But beyond that, I think businesses that are, even a single provider, if you're taking email and phone number and you're really addressing your clients and ensuring that you're storing their data in your Meevo 2, you're a great client for us. Our average locations are really between 3 and 10 shares.
Mhm.
So, you could say that the larger locations do very well on reach, but honestly, we have some single providers that do exceptional. Again, it comes down to how are you leveraging your Meevo 2 platform? Are you storing client data effectively? If you're doing that, Reach can handle 1 to 300 providers.
Got it. I'm glad you mentioned storing the client data. We go through that in our with our records. I'm sure, when somebody gets the wrong email, it's just you feel terrible. So
Sure.
just a reminder that, keeping that client information clean and current and updated every time they come in is so important
Yes,
for your marketing efforts. And we do
absolutely.
this with our email tool, with our other marketing tools. It makes a huge difference. So I'm glad you mentioned that. I think this is a good time to actually go in, and see the tool. That is one thing we could talk
Sure.
for days. I know you and I, but I'd love to show everybody, get a little taste of how it works,
Yep.
how, the list that you pull from the email, and then where the journey that the customer takes at that point to book an appointment and what happens on the Mevo side and the Reach side. So go for it.
Great. All right. Let me share my screen. So, Vicky, can you see this?
Absolutely. Looks good. It's Mevo.
Uh, all right. So I'll just play this short clip. So really everything starts and ends with the Mevo 2 book. So in this case, we would see on Tuesday, Kathy's got an opening in the morning. She's fairly booked. She may not even be aware that there is that opening on her schedule. Reach is going to recognize not only that opening, but which client would be the best fit by knowing who comes in on Tuesdays in the morning. They would then receive a text message from Kathy that would say, hey, I have an 11:15 available. If you're interested, book. When they do, they're all the client's going to have to do is come to our checkout screen and say book their appointment. Once they do, they're going to get that confirmation. And I think the most important thing to add is with all the time we've spent working with Mevo, everything goes right back into the appointment book. So frontline staff, Kathy, nobody has to do anything different. Everything's still managed with Mevo too. So Reach is just working on behalf of the system to recognize who's overdue or due for an appointment, matching them to appointments that you're likely to not sell by yourself, and then books that via text. We do have complimentary emails that go out as well, but everything we do leads with text.
Got it. So there's something that you said there. The system picks the best client for that appointment. And I guess, is that where the
Correct.
AI comes in, or the artificial intelligence? It looks through and combs through the actual data to say, Vicky, you haven't been here. Your highlights are probably due for a touch up.
Yep.
You know, that's, an hour and a half appointment or 2 hour appointment. That's who we're going to try and get in to fill this spot in the next 7 days. Is that kind of how it works?
Absolutely right. So, I'd like to talk about a little bit the Mevo wait list, right? A client makes themselves available.
Mhm.
Mevo then understands who to send that message to based on that client saying, I'm interested. In Reach's case, we look at every single background of the client. We understand what day and time is open, what provider and services are available through the Mevo 2 online booking experience. And our algorithms can crunch all that information. And to make it real simple, we know who to message with
Mhm.
what message and when. So we send very few text messages out, in fact. But what we can do is make sure that who's getting that message on the day they would likely see that message. So Tuesday, they might want to see a text message on Sunday night. We know they book on Tuesday mornings, and we know they see Kathy. So we're able to crunch all that information and in real time send that message out. And if the client says, hey, message me later, Reach will be able in future state to be able to even learn from that information and do a better job next time. So it's always learning. It's pretty incredible what it's capable of doing now.
So at this point, if I were investigating the software for my business, I would say, who
Mhm.
is the email coming from and who is the text message coming from?
Correct. So the business has full control over that. What Reach is able to do, it matches the client with the provider. So if that provider and client have a relationship, it would come on behalf of that provider. If a business said, you know what, I'd prefer it to come from any named person, it could be the business owner, a manager, or just a third party they call the assistant. Reach has the ability to do that very easily. And then once it's set up, it would run like that moving forward. But the overall use case is the client and provider experience is understood through Mevo 2. And so we never miss that. So Reach would be reaching out on behalf of that provider.
Got it. Because that's where the trust is, right? With the salon or with
Absolutely.
that provider, and something coming from Reach or somewhere is likely to either get unopened, unfortunately, but as long as you've had that trust relationship recognized, that's super important. Another question I know that comes up often is, okay, I booked the appointment, I canceled, or I was a no-show. And some
Yep.
salons like to charge those customers for a no-show, or they take a credit card. So I think it's
Yep.
important that we talk about, can we, is a credit card required? Do I have the choice to do that? And then can I charge that customer if I have a no-show policy?
It's a great question, Vicky. So we know with online booking, there's a lot of trust there again with your clients, right? So you're booking these appointments sometimes weeks and months out, and we know that things change and clients do forget. And so what we're doing is a little different. We at one point tested using credit cards because Reach is booking really the next day and a couple days out. Our no-show rates are extremely low. In fact, less than 5%.
Wow.
So for us, we thought, okay, let's get out of the game of securing payment and make sure we do a really good job of reaching out to clients. Down the road, that may change, but for now, we found because we're only focusing on the next few days out, our no-show rates are a little different than your standard online booking no-show rates. And so we recommend if you book with Reach, you'll see it in your Meevo 2 calendar. It'll still send the confirmations coming from Meevo 2. So if you wanted to reach out to a client and say, hey, I noticed you booked, here's some other things we want to do to ensure you'll show up, we recommend doing those. But for now, Reach will be back out of the way once it's booked the appointment. No payment, no credit card.
Now, talk a little bit. I know you have hundreds of customers on the platform. Do you have any success stories that you could share, or any like case studies, like some golden tidbits of good client successes?
Yeah, we're lucky. I mean, as mentioned before, Mevo helped us launch as a company with Reach. And so actually over about the last year, we've actually sold over 1,000 Mevo locations. We have over 700 live now. And with that, we have some really exciting success stories. Some that come to mind, if you look at Robert Andrew, they're one of our top locations. Last month, I believe they were somewhere around $9,000 in new bookings, right? So Reach booked $9,000 in revenue for Robert Andrew. Get Waxed, Pretty Girls Get Waxed is actually another one of our locations. They did $17,000 in new bookings using Reach last month. And then you also have Taj, one of our earliest locations on Reach, come a long way, over $8,000 in revenue last month. So there's a lot to be said for the way that Reach can identify clients and book them in a cadence that's going to be easy to understand. But again, every Reach location is going to be guaranteed that minimum 600 to 1,300 in revenue, or else you don't pay. Although, you can see here, there's many locations doing into the 10 and 20,000 ranges.
I mean, that's amazing. And also what I noticed is they're different kinds of businesses. Yes, they're all in like our space, obviously, but you've got waxing in there, you've got spa services, hair services. So that's really a testament to just having good data, being on top of your marketing, right? And getting out
Yes, of
there
course.
and filling your book, because that's so important. So this is like such a nice sliver to really build the business, and those numbers are incredible. I mean, I'm sure those customers are pretty happy. And
They
I
are.
know a lot of times customers want to say you set it and forget it.
Yep,
And there is a component of that to this, but I always preach like you still have to get into the numbers. You have to be actively monitoring things on all fronts
absolutely.
to make sure that you are driving, because it is an active business. The notion of passive income is nice to an extent, but you really have to actively be doing this and trying these tools out and working the best lists and working the best, time frames and things like that,
Sure.
which is clearly, your outcomes show that.
Yeah, and one thing just to point out, Vicky, you're absolutely right. And I think when our client success team is talking to our locations, the number one thing we tell them is you're managing your business in your Mevo 2 software. So what Reach is capable of doing is understanding those iterations in real time. So if you change a provider, style, service, price, anything you're doing to manage your business, what's nice about Reach, you don't have to go into Reach and adjust it there as well. You're just going to see that Reach picks up on that in real time. So we absolutely recommend manage your data, make sure you're staying on top of your business. If things change, and they do these days more than ever, adjust it in your Mevo 2. Reach will recognize those changes and it will adjust accordingly to the way it's communicating with your clients. It is very easy to set it and forget it, but you're managing the business through the Mevo 2, which is the most important thing to make sure everybody's aware of.
And I think on that note, I'm going to say, like, this was great. It gave me a lot of insights. I mean, I've been working with you guys for a while, so I understand, but you've got those updates and some little tweaks that have happened. So,
Sure.
and as with cloud software everywhere, you're always innovating. There's always updates, just like we do for Mevo, every 3, 4 months, there's updates all the time.
Yep.
So I know there's a lot more ahead. That's
There
exciting.
is.
That will be coming out on the Reach platform. So I want to say thank you for your time. Thank you to all of our customers and everybody listening and watching this and getting some insights about Reach and one of our integrated partners that live inside Meevo Exchange. So thank you so much, Patrick. I appreciate your time.
Thanks so much for having me, Vicky. And again, as you said, thank you to all the clients that have trusted us so far. We look forward to the journey ahead, and we'll be doing the best we can to book those books for you.
Awesome. Thanks. Take care.
Bye.